date, Skillos claimed that a sub-45-second run was theoretically possible. As it turns out, he was correct. Just 2.5 hours later, a previous record holder posted this run, blowing all previous runs out of the water.
Minna, おかえり。みんな、頑張れよ。Was a sub-5-second run possible, like Skillos theorized, a 2K somehow managed to get a sub-3-second run in 39 seconds, even with the new rule changes. It was nearly the same time as Skillos' original 2-second run myth remained. People blown away, rightly so. Upon reviewing the splits, 2K created his penguin in record time of 7 seconds. Had the second fastest ever email load in 7 seconds. After his penguin in just under 8.5 seconds. Logged into the game in under 9.5 seconds. And finally got banned in 2 seconds upon entering the game. An 8.8 second improvement on a 3-second speedrun. Talk about a complete game changer. Getting a sub-40-second run out runners was a huge milestone, and not many runners achieved it, or even thought it was possible. And as silly as it sounds, this record, one to be uncontested for nearly a full day, was the longest any record tested. It was truly an immaculate run, and it set the march. Time to do the run. Okay, this entirely in a zone. That's a disconnect. Sites files were good email loading time origin, that last factor hasn't been mentioned yet. There was a chat server based in one chat server, which would allow you to use the chat system. This, of course, would be a run contender because you would be able to get banned. Just another element of RNG that this run was one person. And it was someone who hadn't just quite yet. It was Skillos. 1,000 minutes later, 2K was dethroned. Skillos managed to completely skip a 38-second run and achieved a 37-second run, improving the record by about 1.5 seconds. There weren't any new strategies involved in this run per se, but Skillos did use a different disposable email service than what other runners normally use. For every single one of Skillos' attempts, he had to create a new disposable email address. He ended up creating so many that eventually these email hosts ended up IP-backing him, creating too many disposable accounts. Recent runners used the same few email services was because they seemed to be the most reliable and fastest to receive the activation email. After trying over a dozen different email services, Skillos managed to finally find one that worked pretty well for him and landed himself a new world record.
The 37.9-second run was remarkable. Skillos estimated that the speedrun could be as fast as about 37.5 seconds, which was approximately 0.4 seconds faster than his current world record. Someone just needed to be patient enough to get that optimal record. Eventually, that's exactly what happened.
早く終わって。歯ごたえのない。
2K would retaliate against Skillos and snag his third world record for the category, beating Skillos by a mere 0.8 seconds. 2K had the speedrun down to an absolute science. He figured out a way to reliably receive the activation emails nearly instantly. It turns out it might not have been RNG all along. As he was doing attempts, he noticed a pattern in the disposable email service that he was using, which was tempmail.org. He found that his emails were coming in at around the same time every minute. Every time, it seemed to arrive within 15 seconds of a new minute passing. He took screenshots of his previous attempts, and his activation emails came in at 8:48:14 and 8:49:14. His world record had the activation email come in at 8:51:15. 2K was able to time the speedrun perfectly, so that as soon as he created his penguin, Temp Mail would send a queued up batch of emails. He would receive his activation email in record time in just 4.4 seconds, which was 2.4 seconds faster than Skillos. As far as his splits go, 2K created his penguin in 12 seconds, had his email loaded in 4.4 seconds, activated his penguin in 8.3 seconds, in 10.1 seconds, and was back in record time at just 2.2 seconds. 2K had thought his run was 37.3 seconds long, but after doing an actual frame count of his run, it was actually 37.1 seconds, but considered to be unbeatable. And unbeatable it was. Every record that we've analyzed so far, right from the initial world record Mud Balls, had occurred within just 58 hours, or about 2 days and 10 hours. At this point in time, it was February 22nd, 2017. The Club Penguin servers weren't going to be shut down for over a month. However, the speedrun had become hyper-optimized in such a short amount of time that it was incredibly hard to beat 2K's record of 37.1 seconds. Not only was it the first record to stand more for than 24 hours, but then it stood for over a month, and no one had broken his record. And as it turns out, it may have actually been next to impossible to beat 2K's record. Not because it was such an optimized run, but because of what Club Penguin did to their activation emails. Normally, when you created your penguin and received your activation email, you could simply click on the Activate Penguin button, which would redirect you to an activation form that you have to fill out. This no longer worked. Clicking on the Activate Penguin button had issues redirecting you to Club Penguin. Runners scrambled to figure out what was going on, trying different disposable email services to see if it was an issue with a specific email service. It wasn't. It was happening to all email services. The only way you can now activate your penguin was to click on the Activate Your Account with the Code hyperlink located at the bottom of the email. It would also provide you with the code that you can enter in. This was far slower than clicking the Activate Penguin button. Runners questioned if it was intentional or not from Club Penguin. Perhaps Club Penguin didn't want players creating new penguins anymore. Or perhaps speedrunners were creating a noticeable amount of traffic on Club Penguin's email servers. Or both. But to this day, we don't really know what happened. Skillos himself claimed that he had done 3,000 to 4,000 attempts alone, Imagine how many cumulative attempts between all the top runners would have been at that point. It's hard to know for sure, but it would have been a rather decent amount. The banned percent speedrun was considered dead. It seemed impossible to complete a run faster than 37.1 seconds with the methods and strategies available due to the activation emails no longer working. Another thing that prevented a lot of runs was that Club Penguin was banned in many of the domain names used by popular disposable email services. It was difficult to find one of those services without it being blocked.
This is what I call hyper-optimized.
March 28th was approaching, which was one day before the official server shutdown. People were already congratulating 2K for what looked like was going to be the forever cemented and unbeatable world record of 37 seconds. Then, the unthinkable happened.
なんだ？
Just mere hours before the server shutdown, Camological posted a new world record of 33.8 seconds, 3.5 seconds faster than the previous world record. This record was on a completely different level than anything anyone had previously achieved. The past 3 world records were all within 2.5 seconds of each other, yet somehow Camological managed to beat it by 3.5 seconds.
No rare drop.
Camological
Might as well try.
Penguin in record time of 9.6 seconds. His email loaded in at 6.6 seconds. He was able to activate his Penguin in 7.6 seconds. Logged in at record time in just under 8.5 seconds. And was able to get himself back in record time in just under 1.5 seconds. The biggest question was, how was Camological able to do this run? It seemed like it was impossible to do any runs because of all the issues that were happening in the past month. But as it turns out, things
Not immune to headbinds, though.
to before the server got with little time they had
We can try disabling their most dangerous ability.
despite all the issues happening. Unfortunately, time ran out and the servers were officially shut down. It was now impossible to speedrun ban percent in Club Penguin. Camological's time of 33.8 was unprecedented. It was so outlandishly fast, it was suspect to a lot of runners. And if you remember from before, Camological's previous world record of 108 was banned since it was found to be fraudulent. Suspicions arose quickly and accusations were made. The following day, a lengthy, detailed Reddit thread was posted in r/speedrun. It was an analysis on Camological's run, and why the person who made the thread considered the run to be illegitimate. The person who posted this thread, Skillos. The post quickly gained popularity and became a hotly debated topic. Skillos pointed out 2 main things he believed that made the run illegitimate. The first one was the black box. During Camological's run, the black box was edited inside of the video. It was edited in to cover up his Skype and Discord windows. It even says in the video, LOL, you're not getting my Skype or Discord. However, The black box also covered up part of his taskbar, including the system clock. Before the black box was edited in, the time of the system clock was 3:39 p.m. Suspiciously, when the black box was removed from the video, the system clock was 3:40 p.m. Skillo stated that it was very possible that the minute had just passed, while the black box was up for just under half a second. He noted that the important thing to take away from this is that the system time changed from 3:39 to 3:40 p.m. between 10.9 and 11.4 seconds into its run. Let's put a pin in that for now, and we'll come back to it here shortly. Skillos' second main detail was to do with the activation email. Camological received the activation email at 16 seconds into the run. We know that his system time changed to exactly 3:40 p.m. between 10.9 and 11.4 seconds into his run. So, if we subtract the time from when he received the email and the time when his system changed to 3:40 p.m., he would have received the email 4.9 to 5.4 seconds after his system changed to 3:40 p.m. This meant Camological should have received the email between 3:40:04 p.m. and 3:40:05 p.m. But if you look closely at the timestamp of his email, the email arrives at 3:40:12 p.m. Where did those few extra seconds go? Skillos claims that the video was edited. Splicing is a common technique used by cheaters. It's when you cut and paste different videos together to make it seem like it was all done in one video. Or, in this case, removing one or more different parts of one video to make it seem like it was done faster than it actually was. This was the same cheating technique that Camological used in his banner run of 4 Skillos believed that the split was done at approximately 15.5 seconds into the run. His reason was that it was the ideal time to not move your mouse, because nothing else would be moving in the background. Skillos believed that Camological actually waited 4 to 5 seconds for the email. That was cut to make it seem like the email moved in faster than it actually did. Skillos went into more detail about how he thought the timestamp worked inside the email. He provided examples of the timestamps working correctly on his computer. The times were spot on. Skillos also tried changing the time zone on his computer to see if the email timestamp would reflect the changes, and it did. They were also spot on. Skillos then went on to talk about how he believed the timestamp was calculated in the backend through JavaScript, which is a programming language that's used inside web pages. Shortly after Skillos' post was made, Camological's run of 33.8 seconds was removed from the speedrun.com leaderboard yet again. The world record went back into the hands of 2K, the time of 37.1 seconds, and the community was left bamboozled. As the day went on, more and more people were commenting on the Reddit posts that Skillos had made. Some interesting things were brought up, including criticisms of Skillos' reasoning. Skillos talked about the timestamp inside the email. His logic was flawed. He had thought that the timestamp inside the email was pulled from the system clock on the computer. However, it was brought to his attention that this wasn't the case. The time was generated from the server of the disposable email service, not the computer. That opened up the possibility that Camological's system clock may have simply just been out of sync with the email server. As a result of this new information, Skillos edited his post admitting that the logic he had used was unknowingly flawed, and to look at the comment thread with the correct analysis. Redditors continued to debate the legitimacy of Camological's run, even if the timestamp explanation wasn't correct. People still believe that a black box edited inside of the video was unacceptable either way, and should disqualify Camological regardless. One person by the name of GrixM commented saying, "If you're going for a world record in a speedrun, even a mean one, you should at the very least do preparations beforehand so that there is no personal info popping up either way. I would not accept a video that hides anything at all." More comments were made to see if someone could try to analyze the sound from the video for signs of splicing. A technique that can be used to detect splicing is to analyze the audio from the video. It may be possible to detect a pop or a jump in the hum of a video. A user by the name of Omnipotent Entity said that they tried to analyze the audio, wasn't able to detect anything. However, They said it may be possible that the audio was replaced entirely because of the overlay music that Camological used. The only way this debate might be settled was if Camological provided the raw footage without any sort of editing at all. Later that day, he did remove the raw footage. Camological provided footage. However, there was still some editing inside the video. While he did remove the original black box, which had been covered with system time, was a brief moment where a white box was displayed instead. White box did cover up the system time, but it did still cover up part of his Skype, Discord, and Steam windows, which, to this day, only Camological knows what was underneath that. Camological posted his proof several times in the Reddit thread, but nothing was done about it. From here on out, the once immensely popular bad percent category quickly faded in popularity. Once the servers were shut down, speedrunners moved on to the next best thing. It was impossible to even attempt speedruns, so why even bother? There wasn't anything else to look forward to. The category was officially closed, and Camological's time of 30 was not reinstated. You're now over 6 years later. Camological's run of 33.8 on his YouTube channel still claims to be the world record. The official leaderboard on speedrun.com still claims 2K's time of 37.1 seconds to be the official world record. And as far as we know, there hasn't been any sort of official investigation into Camological's run. And after 6 years of history behind us, it makes it even harder to verify things. It would be unreasonable to ask Camological for the true raw footage of his run. No editing, no boxes, nothing. It's been 6 years. A lot can change in 6 years. A new computer could have been purchased, or data could have been cleaned up to save some space. Most obviously, the original Club Penguin no longer exists, so it's impossible to test activation emails again, even if it could be tested. The disposable email service that Camological used, dropmail.me, could have been updated several times over the past 6 years. And over those 6 years, several other variables get in our way. Updates to Windows 10, updates to Google Chrome, new hardware that Camological may or may not be using today. You get the idea. It would be impossible to replicate all of the variables exactly as they were 6 years ago. Maybe something as simple as a Windows update could have caused time sync issues on his computer, but we'll never be able to test that again. Best chance we had to verify and test things was 6 years ago. The moderators never did this, as far as we know. While we can't replicate Camological's exact environment from 6 years ago, we can still speculate on a couple things that are still around today. We can look into Camological's reasoning of why he originally put in a black box. Skillos had commented on his video about the black box and the missing 4 to 5 seconds. Camological's response was, "I see what you mean, and I put in the black box in order to cover Skype and Discord and see the taskbar. My only guess on the time is that the website system clock differs from my own or something. Not too sure." Let's go back to Camological's previous personal best. Camological had a respectable time of 38.9 seconds, which was 3rd place at the time, behind Skillos and 2K. This video has a couple of interesting things about it. First is that there are no boxes covering up any of his other windows. He has Discord and Steam showing, albeit he doesn't have Skype open. So why didn't he cover any of those windows in this case? Well, maybe his Skype window from his 33.8 second run had identifiable information, but we don't really know for sure. The second interesting thing about this video is that he begins by showing comments of other people claiming that he sped up his previous personal bests. Camological would then have a webcam pointed at his hand and mouse, showing everyone that he's doing it at the time. He then fades out the activation goes in. Video fades to black, then the actual run begins. His actual run wasn't the same one he used in the example just moments before. He also removed the feed from his webcam, which can be left up to your interpretation of why he may have done that. That's where things stand today. While it's impossible to play the original Club Penguin, the Club Penguin speedrun community is still active today using private servers. Surprisingly, one of the categories Thin Ice has been optimized to the point where it's actually perfected. There's a 19-way tie for first place. They also have a new 50% category, but it hasn't had a resurgence since the original category. They do have a Club Penguin speedrunning Discord server, so if you want to check that out, the link is in the description below. In the world of speedrunning, there are a handful of world records that are simply just impossible to beat. They'll never be broken. It might be because the game is fundamentally incapable of allowing you to go faster. Or it might be because the game is so optimized, there's just no save, at least for the time being. To this day, 2K's time of 37.1 seconds is no different. It remains the official world record, and as far as we can tell, that world record lasts indefinitely, simply because it is impossible to play the original Club Penguin again. But until next time, thank you for watching.
Previously, Amber step clip. So 31 to my 2K, so I take 1 for it's violence because we are bringing. What you can do with this is that if I activate 1 for 1, I can chain series. Actually, I think at one point I stopped at my opening and I mentioned how like 6 or 7 of the cards in one pack were all super and above in previous packs that we'd opened, like at the beginning of the series, which is wild if you think about it, right? And yeah, some of these cards may be a bit outdated, but honestly, I love these frequent sets. Retro Pack has been phenomenal. I think sadly this is the last Retro Pack. I think there's other stuff, but
yeah, there's only 2 Retro Packs in the series, bro. I guess everything was just old geezer stuff from there. But no, like you said, man, a lot of the cards are a little bit old. But you gotta remember, a lot of those old cards are truly timeless. So
that's true.
They get the chance to pump out those sets is gonna be big.
And it'll be interesting too, because cards like Torrential Tribute, for instance, at some point actually go to like semi-limited and unlimited. So this was a chance for us to like round out those playsets for once we get to that point later in the progression series. So it may not have like an immediate impact, but for now, let's see what happens, buddy. Let's see what happens. Let's shout out the patron Red Eyes Jake. Thank you for the support. Let's see how this rock paper scissors goes. Oh, win it.
First dub in a minute with the scissors.
Yeah. Tough decision for you, buddy.
You know what? I thought for a second, I'm like, he isn't a tough decision, bro. I'm gonna still go second. I think it's the best.
Okay.
Best of luck, Goals, okay?
Sounds good, buddy. Best of luck to you as well. I think I'm going to need it, my friend. Main Phase 1. I'm going to kick things off with a 2 table of contents.
Are you sure? What are you doing?
So on to this. So I'm just going to go through a few 2 tables here.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to get this 2 Cannon Soldier.
Cannon Soldier Alex, don't you FDK me right now, bro.
Let's go through this concrete, buddy.
Alright, yeah. Cheese it, okay.
Okay. Oh, this is already looking pretty good. Okay, you know what, buddy? Let's have some fun.
Okay, these things fine. I'm scared, man. How you 2 tape? Like, expect me not to hurt. I'm gonna call level 1.
You're gonna call level 1, okay. Particular reason you're calling level 1, just out of curiosity.
I know there's a lot of really powerful level 1 monsters beside this, so if you're playing like some kind of FTK or something, that's gonna be able to just get it in the bin, right?
Oh my interesting! Buddy, I'm gonna make you shit your pants. Do I 1 for 1 pinch the 2 soldier? Get the medical scientist to. Oh my god! Magical scientist FTK surname there.
You shall, man. Give it the one time for the audience.
Alright, let's go ahead and show people how this works in case they've never seen it before. I will pay 1,000 life points to special summon a level 6 or lower fusion, and I will choose Steam Gyroid. And with the catapult turtle, I will sacrifice the Steam Gyroid to deal 1,100 damage to your life points.
1,100, alright.
I will now do this 6 more times and send 6 more fusion monsters. So 2 more Steam Gyroids, you're going to take 1,100 twice.
It's 22.
That does it for all of the 22. So now we have to go to the 21. So I'm going to send a sandwich.
Okay, it's 1050.
A sandwich.
1050.
Another sandwich.
1050.
And we're going to go with a... which do I like the best? I'll go with Roaring Ocean Snake. I think he's pretty cool.
He is pretty cool. That's how much for the last one?
That's another 1050, buddy.
1050. Alright.
For the final part of the FDK, I will use Turtle to sack off Magical Scientist and the Turtle himself to deal the remaining damage to your life.
Alex, I'm looking at his hand. I'm angry.
Thanks for letting me go first, buddy. Appreciate it.
Oh my god, bro! Jesus Christ, bro!
Good thing it's stuck there.
Progression series, Alex. I regret letting you go first. That's insane, dude. There's so many dumb things that you have at your disposal that I was waiting so long for you to just hit me with.
And this is one of them.
This is bro, the side of this DK, man. I know. You were just twiddling your fingers there. You're waiting to summon Dark Strike Fight. That's insane. Bro, it's like, this is terrifying. So, I obviously can't let you go.
You sure?
No. Failure and stuff just don't exist at this point. So, I am going to opt to go first. Hopefully set up something.
Best of luck, buddy. You know, I was thinking about it, I'm like, damn, this is so nice that we're basically making each other go first. I guarantee, even if I lose rock, paper, scissors, that I get to, if I get the combo, of course, I could win. But
I will set
best of luck, buddy.
I'll set 2, I'll set 3, no, just go ahead.
Okay, you got some macro.
I've got a little protection against summon science here.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna do like we did last time. We'll go change it.
Do a table for 3 is fine.
Alright, so we will go. You sure you don't want a magic jammer this? Alright, so we'll get in here, we'll get the little boy himself. Sure. Okay, now I have to play this much differently than we did the first time. Like, I'm gonna be honest, Gage, my hand is not looking too hot here.
It's good news for me.
So, question now is, how do I want to approach this? I think the move for me is I'm going to go set 1, 2, 3 of my own. Chuck it.
Okay. At least it's not FTK. I mean, that's good for me. Alright, I'll draw a stand my feet. Sure, I'll get Breaker on. It's gonna stick.
He'll stick.
It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna break this face.
It's MST. Let's see what we're going. Let's take this one out.
That's a good one. Alright, it's
Right. Alright.
I'll flip up Mystic Tomato. Sure. And I'll go Battle Phase and try to flip this.
It is Platoon Cancel.
Okay, cool. Then 14 to the dome.
Take it.
Cool. I will just pass her. Let's go.
You feel good? You got some damage in.
Dude.
Yeah. Play a bit. So I will set and best.
Right? Stand up. Just keep throwing you. And summon Witch. Sure. Battle Breaker and face down.
Was Olosaurus. I probably saw this in this set.
Alright. That's great. I'm curious where this plays a role. I probably just strike fire out or something. At 14 and then
25 total? Take it off.
nice. That's to the
Draw! No!
Seems like an FTK then, bro.
The FTK giveth and the FTK taketh away. This is, I was worried about this happening. I will, this is what? 25, this is exactly lethal. Yeah, you got it, buddy. Got it.
Nice, alright, good Swift game too, man. Let's hope for not a Swift game. Back at 15, actually.
I will let you know, Gage, I had a combo, but it came 1 turn too late. So, just barely, I don't know what your macro was, to be fair. So if you could have stopped it, that maybe didn't matter. But I did potentially have a line to end. So, bit lucky there, bit lucky. I will tell you though, no surprise, I'm gonna go first, because if I get the combo, better friend.
You know I ain't got a way of stopping. That doesn't exist quite now, so.
Not yet, Eddie. Not yet. Alright, buddy. Main phase 1. Best of luck.
Yep, do 2K1 yet. I dare you.
We're gonna do freeze.
I know you played one. So I think I just definitely got called 5 to stop the cap. Okay. What else do you have? Cannon Soldier doesn't serve the same purpose. It's a little. It's the thing with Cannon Soldier. It's something like that.
And then you can.
No, it's 125, so it's definitely.
Correct. It's a much weaker.
The thing is like, if you have, like, or something like that, I'm gonna call level 5, which is the level of Catapult.
Okay. It's a tough one, but I think I can see why you would go there. Okay.
God, those cards are so. Yeah! Those cards are all powerful, though. Someone sick, man. Shooting, last will, what the fuck?
Now, you can sort of see where I was going with this. Unfortunately, buddy. Predicted. Do you have the premature burial? And it's you for.
way around it.
Oh my god.
It's me off, man. Hit me with it.
Alright, we'll go through it one more time, buddy. I will pay 7,000 life points, putting me at 200. Let's get rid of him, buddy. We will send the 1, the 2, the 3,
Yep.
the 4,
30.
5, 6, 7, and we will send our final 2 monsters to the graveyard.
Never quite close enough. And what? I'm going to say, what's this last card, dude?
Playing a Who's Threatening War. So my combo I had to turn to get. So, okay, I need to tell you why I was thinking this. So, I don't know if you know this, but 1 for 1 is obviously insane. Yeah, that's not the reason why I played this deck. I pulled 3 of this, I know that, and this card is not limited until next episode, and there is something almost worse than the traditional Magical Scientist FTK that I did not even get to show you, buddy. Let's go ahead and introduce, let's get Mr. Magical Scientist. Let's go ahead and introduce the Magical Scientist Mind Master FTK.
Oh, you got a Mind Master too? Oh, no!
I will let you in on the secret here. Mind Master can be any level 1 tuner. It does not matter what this card is. I just thought Mind Master would be tilted. So what I can do is, I can pay 1,000 for Scientist and summon any 6. Sync the Mind Master and the 6 for Dark Strike Fighter and do the whole combo this way as well instead of doing the Catapult line. So 1 for 1, because I have 3 copies of it, it's like I have 5 copies of Scientist and Mind Master plus all the just turbo shit in my deck to get to this. That Dark Strike Fighter, I think, actually does more damage than the Catapult combo does as well.
I believe it, yeah.
Yeah, so that, and also, paired with a little card called Serial Spell, I can duplicate 1 for 1, then if I just activate 1 for 1, I get to summon both off of a single making it a 2.5 card, 3 card FTK because you need 1 for 1, a monster to discard, and the Serial Spell as well. You pitch your whole hand, so I guess you lose everything at that point. But if you assemble Magical Scientist Mind Master, that's the FTK too. So, because 1 for 1's getting limited on the next list, I'm like, I have to give this a shot. If I lose, so be it, because I probably deserve to, because I'm just gonna get scolded in the comments for this. But, yeah, this was, I'm sorry, buddy, this was a lot of fun.
Like I said, the first time I saw you have, like, this, the last episode, you got the 1 for 1s or something in Raging Battle, and I was like, you're just brushing it off. It's like, you don't even care. I was like, real.
So, we'll say one of the more important things about Retro Pack for me is that Gillosaurus is a key card of the combo. And the reason for it is, yeah, so Gillosaurus is necessary because if you draw Catapult Turtle, you need a monster to special that doesn't, like, cost you anything else. So you can normal Catapult Turtle by tributing and triggers Last Will Scientist onto the field for the combo that way. So that's what Gillosaurus' role is with this.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, Bill, I was saying there's gotta be something that's stealing. This is the one, this card is going to be very troublesome here in the future. I can tell Dark Strike Fighter's not going to be an easy card to deal with.
Yeah, especially while he's unerrated, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But, okay, what were you up to? I saw Tomato Breaker, I saw just, like, generic.
I brought back the fan favorite. I brought back Chaos here with a little bit of tuners, a couple of Kremlons and stuff to be able to make good synchros and stuff like that. It's not quite good enough, though, to be an FTK.
Oh, go ahead. I think people are going to be less mad at me for playing this because you're playing Chaos.
I think this list was actually really solid.
It looks solid.
It's just like solid chaos. But like the thing is, there's so many cards like I caught the card. I have 1, 2 now.
Yeah.
But then I also have like cards like ELS and like Chaos Sorcerer that are so strong. And I just thought like I picked up the Magical Scientist out of Retro Pack. I hit it big, man. I hit myself 1,000 Azure Strip, which made like the Magical Scientist package that you've had for a while. I think that's crazy. I think just summoning restricted, soaking up anything is very, very powerful. So I decided to plug that in. Like that. But yeah, which is pretty much basic chaos. It was supposed to absolutely demolish Blackwing to names cards like Blackwing. I also made like Monolith Fountain. So like those cards just destroy them. You know, anything paired with Whirlwind, it doesn't matter. That was the goal of the day, but of course I did not expect Scientist FTK. I did not expect it.
You can breathe a sigh of relief. I didn't pull an additional 1,000 Ice Restrict. I was thinking that's pretty sick with Scientist if you have multiple copies of this, because then you can suck up multiple things at the same turn, you know? So, that would have been sick. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. There was just like so many neat little cards in this set, just to support wide, very different amount of strategies, right? I mean, there was like skill drain beatdown stuff in here. There was like control stuff. There was like bird, like magic cylinder was in this set, which is like a common or like a rare, I think. Just like so many neat little cards that we didn't really have before because they were too high rarity. We may have missed them in what was it, Labyrinth of Night or Legacy of Darkness, and Pharaonic Guardian too. So I don't know. I love this episode. I thought it was great.
What if Terminator is Chinese?
What?
This is the story of one of the most legendary underground fighting games of all time. A game that started as a college project and has become one of the most celebrated cult classics in fighting game history. This is Dong Dong Never Die. Dong Dong Never Die is a fighting game which is loosely, and I mean loosely, based on Terminator 2 Judgment Day. A war has been going on between man and machine for years, and Skynet sends a Terminator named Shunghua Nan back in time to kill the leader of the Greek world, Dong Dong. Shunghua Nan arrives in the year 2009, coinciding with a global martial arts tournament that is taking place, and to lure Dong Dong out, he starts attacking participants in the tournament. The future of mankind hanging in the balance, Dong Dong must fight his way through the tournament to defeat Skynet and save humanity. Sound awesome? It is, and it was spawned by a college student who just happened to have some free time on their hands.
It's called MC Dinosaur, right? If around 2007, this was trying to build this kind of assignment.
So, Dong Dong Never Die is a game that was made by a Chinese game developer called Jonesy Fogle in his spare time. Basically, what he did is he got a bunch of his friends together and took pictures of them and then into a fighting game. Basically, you can think of it as old Mortal Kombat games like Combat 1, 2, and 3. All the sprites were just pictures of real people. Dong Dong is kind of like that, except they're all pictures of real people. But, Mortal Kombat, you've got, like, Scorpion who's dressed up in a ninja costume. Like, Dong Dong is just a guy. Is wearing, like, a nice little button-up shirt, blue jeans, and that's your protagonist.
The development for Dong Dong Never Die lasted almost 3 full years. The game itself was built in 2D Fighter Maker, an entry-level programming tool meant to streamline the game-making process for those without extensive coding knowledge. The program gives you pre-made frames, to which you add a picture, sound, and move properties. Rinse and repeat, and you get a fighting game. It's that easy. It's incredibly rudimentary, and was intended to be as user-friendly as possible. Kind of like Windows Movie Maker in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's a program from 2002, so as you can imagine, it's a little outdated, and the dynamic was in the past, like the United States, Mugen was like the major engine for starting game developers, get started on developing a fighting game. Fighting Maker 2002 is basically the equivalent of that in Asia.
But using 2DFM isn't easy, or intuitive, or, even good at all.
You see Fighter Maker 2002 in your rearview mirror, slam your foot on the gas pedal, and get out of there. A lot of parts of it seem like actively hostile if you're an inexperienced developer. There's just significant and obvious lack of features. There's also no option to have win screens. You can only do an arcade mode and a versus mode, and there's also no option to randomize the arcade mode. Dong Dong Never Die actually runs at a steady frames per second. The engine, for whatever reason, Fighter Maker, the default frame rate is 100 frames per second. Basically, if a character is ever in animation number 89, you pause the game and then unpause the game, the character will die instantly. And that's true for every character, every animation number 89. So you can imagine, developing this is just a complete nightmare. I haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Despite the challenges of working with 2D Fighter Maker, the devs managed to pack a shocking amount of content into Dong Dong Never Die. The game features story modes for each character, animated stages, on-hit effects, and 24 playable characters, all with fully fleshed out kits and animations. For context, 24 is more characters than Street Fighter VI, with Year 1 DLC, And these characters, let me tell you, they're classics. Sure, you've got the main characters, Shen Huanan and Dong Dong, but you've also got Bing Boy, Goki,
お主た
Blue
ち
Collar
か
Hero, Jiang
冷や
Ziran,
かしは許さ
Cool
ぬ
Guy,
ぞ
Jie Jie, the graffiti artist, Sun Wukong, and nurses turned roommates, Jie Mei Hua. You've got Ken. It's based on Ken from the video game Ken. Huo Chai Ren, the human matchstick. Violent Dong Dong, who you don't want to see get angry. And to round out the cast, is Woo!
何を売るの
Being a
ぞ
4-button fighting game, all of these characters have normals, unique specials, and some pretty sick supers. Now, you will watch this montage of our favorite supers. While watching, you will contemplate subscribing to Action Esports. See that? That was Optimus Prime. He's subscribed to Action Esports. Did Mario just Raging Demon a man in He did it because Full Floaty Man was not subscribed to Action Esports. And trust me, you will
何
do
する
the
の
same
ぞ
to you.
さてさて
Part of the
何の
charm
ご用
of
正
Dong
義を止
Dong
めたら
is
ま
that
た来る
almost
のだ
all
ぞ
characters, apart from Huo Chai Ren and Mario, had their animations painstakingly photographed by hand.
Needed the camera. Every single character needed to run 6 hours to have tools because a lot of issues expect quality such that so we can get
何か
around
素晴らしい
to
何か
the
見つけたのか
Jiangxi
手をつけるん
Konglong
だよ
dressed people up in costumes. This included his friends, colleagues from the art department at his college, and even legitimate actors. He Wenhui, who posed for the character Zhang Bao, was in Stephen Chow's classic comedy, Shaolin Soccer.
What?
More than 20,000 photos were then cut out and sequenced into the character animations you see in the game. Result is a surprisingly fluid fighting game that has all the charm of film like Who Killed Captain Alex. Fortunately, there were a few things that prevented this game from reaching its appeal. First was when it was
朝まで
released.
お休
Yes,
みだ
Dong
よ
Dong came out in 2009, right? And 2009 was the year where fighting games basically came back from the dead, right? With the release of Street Fighter 4. And since then, there's been such a huge explosion of all different kinds of fighting games and all different kind of genres. You saw like Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear is now almost really like kind of taking the mainstream. Street Fighter 6 is super popular.
Not that this fan-made college project was going mainstream anyway. The resurgence of 2D fighters meant that any indie release during this time is going to get buried under AAA competition. But if Dong Dong was going to make it to the mainstream, it would have also been held back by the fact that the game was released in China and could only be downloaded if you had an affiliate account. It used licensed IPs like Mario and music from Street Fighter Alpha 3, Castlevania, and Metal Gear Solid. Oh, and characters in the game are literally wearing Nikes. Still, other games like this have managed to develop underground cult
That fucking those nurses have drip.
It has one issue.
The common aphorism, in any competitive game, players will eventually optimize the fun out of it. Dong Dong, the vanilla versions, they are kind of based off of KOF, and KOF has a roll button. Some other fighting games have it too, where usually you can do a forward roll or a back roll. Usually when rolls are implemented in other games, there's some form of counterplay to it, right? There's some part of the roll animation where you're vulnerable, where you can get hit, but there's certain types of attacks that can hit you, like lows or throws or whatever. So in Dong Dong, every single character's roll is invincible from the start of the animation to the end of the animation, and there's no limit on how or when you can use it.
失敗だ
and maybe even didn't have to go ahead.
That's
In
up.
theory, as long as you don't mess it up, you can do a roll, and then right as that roll ends, you can
Wow.
another one, you can spam the back to back, and there's no way the opponent can ever hit you as long as you leave a window in between
なん
every
だ
roll.
よ
On top of this, there are tons of touch of deaths, infinites, and other bullshit that prevent Dong Dong from being taken seriously. It's a fun game to play with friends and mine free content. It's Shortly after releasing version 1.0 of Dong Dong Kai in 2009, Jiangxi Konglong washed his hands of the game and passed development over to HLWZ, who served as its steward
and updated the game until version 1.6, where it was left frozen in time for years. Over the years, there have been many attempts at rebalancing the game, addressing issues like rolling, infinites, and character sets. Dong Dong 2018 tried to address some of the issues like rolling, and despite Dong Dong 2023 was a pretty big overhaul. Again, it fixed rolling, implemented backdashes, short hops, moveset changes across all characters, and even introduced 2 new characters.
To be honest, I'm a Tekken guy. All my changes will try to be like not exactly everywhere, but embody the freedom of the Tekken castle that freedom of to any other move like that.
But the definitive Dong Dong balance patch came out in early 2024. Dong Dong Never Die Judgment Day is a balanced version of the original game that is as close to competitively viable as we're going to get. Apart from removing touch of deaths, infinites, and other degenerate strategies, Judgment Day has also made the roster of characters more diverse, not by adding in more characters, but by expanding movesets and adjusting playstyles.
The whole goal of Judgment Day is I want to retain like the original concepts that all the characters seem to be going for and all that kind of stuff. Like a lot of the characters are just like they basically reduce down to whatever their best normal is and whatever their best combo special is. But in Judgment Day, there's actually like character archetypes. Like if Ken, which is your standard like archetypal Shoto, you've got Gopi, who's like a really good zoner. Mario, who's like a crazy mix-up machine, is like kind of based off a Koopa. Simple Kong is like an item to the character. I think in spite of all that, in spite of the game being so different, you can still see like the line of succession between vanilla and this version. And I think it still feels like the same game. I think it feels like something that's respectful to the original vision. But basically, in my head, my internal monologue was just, I want to make this game sick as hell.
On top of this, Judgment Day overhauls many of the game's systems. Characters can roll cancel for 1 bar, hit stop and block stop were decreased to up the pace of play, normals have been tweaked across the board, and of course, rolling is no longer invulnerable when starting.
I'm an
And
idiot.
that's just the basics. Some of the stuff Dismas has managed to program into the game is straight up voodoo, and makes Dong Dong feel like a modern fighting game.
So this character, OP, I gave him where he can throw a grenade out, and then when the grenade is on the ground, he uses his 2C and 2D, which are just like low kick attacks. And if he does one of those while he's standing next to the grenade, then he can actually kick it and it'll start rolling forward.
It's amazing that he was able to get all of this done using a program as hostile as 2D Fighter Maker. But that's not all. The game can also be played online using delay-based netcode. And after a couple of hours of playing it here at the Action Esports office, we give it the seal of approval. There's something about carrying your opponent to the top of Mount Everest with an 18-hit Tatsu that makes you really feel like your Dong Dong Never Die. Dong Dong Never Die was originally just a college project, born out of passion and curiosity. The original game of Jiangxi Konglong did a job at Tencent, kickstarting their career in the gaming industry. By some magic, 15 years later, the same thing happened for the person who picked up the torch and carried on his legacy.
So I applied to grad school and I applied to game design programs. And Dong Dong was the centerpiece of my applications. And I don't know, somehow, like, it worked. Yeah, I'm going to grad school off of the back of Dong Dong Never Die Judgment Day. So it's like the whole trajectory of my life is honestly kind of, changed because of this.
This leads us to wonder, whatever happened to Jiangxi Konglong?
There's like articles at a time that say he was working for Tencent during the development of Dong Dong. And there were some other articles I found that were, I think he made some Facebook posts pretty soon after the release of Dong Dong, because I think he had some pretty big plans where I think he was planning on releasing a sequel to Dong Dong, and also he was working on a Streets of Rage fan game. Like in Dong Dong, you beat the arcade mode, you get a teaser for Streets of Rage 4 on the Sony PSP, and I think at some point I made like a Facebook post, the Facebook equivalent, where it was like the way the game design industry is going, it's not going in a direction I like it. It's like, I have so little free time, everybody's like working around the clock, and they're working on purple, free-to-play mobile game, and it's all like very commercialized, and people are kind of, just losing their passion for it.
Well, that's Zone Zero.
It's just a video of him from 2021, and it's just of him like picking up the mountains. And the description just says like, when you're tired, you should go to Tonglong Mountain near Shenzhen. And near the peak of the mountain, he pulls out like this kind of like mobile console, kind of looks like a snake.
Fuck.
And you kind of pause the video at a certain point, you can see, on the side, very familiar icon. It's a little old character, a stone golem. I really do have, an appreciation for the work that he's put in, and I kind of want to just be able to, enjoy his life.
I used the wrong fucking shit, God.
Wondering, has he seen what I've done?
If you're curious about Dong Dong Never Die and want to try out Judgment Day for yourself, head over to the community Discord, linked in the description below. The game takes less than a minute to download. Judgment Day is constantly being updated by Dismas, and if you have any feedback, I'm sure they'd love to hear it. Maybe, just maybe, we'll see Dong Dong tournaments sprouting up at locals, majors, and one day, even EVO? Thank you to Despite and Dismas for their contributions to this video. Make sure to follow them on their socials, link in the description. And thanks to Cloud, Steph, B, Pass, Shampoo, and Yashiji for being patrons of the channel. If you enjoyed the video, leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell to stay up to date. Yyyy. My name is Jonah. Thanks for watching.
負けないよ。解放する。今は逃げません。全力だぜ。これが全力よ。はい消え去れ消え去れとどめよ。これで効かないわ。終わりだ終わりだ。やだ。
Die!
この技で決めます。やっと最後ね。これで次に行きましょう。
I need the Ariadne thread.
そろそろ来ると思ってたぞ。朝までお休みだね。なになに、みんな頑張れよ。
It's the world, I guess. Main 1. Battle?
Yep, ball's coming in. Yeah.
Alright. Second main, I'm gonna send one and throw up messenger. Decent. Good luck.
Oh, fuck that. I'll draw. Stand by me.
You're not the only one with floodgates.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'll hit with a dark hole first.
No, that's kind of... Sure. So my Phoenix is banished, and my Dark Mimic also gets banished.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll follow it up with an e-call. Sure. The emergency is on. What do I want? Alright, I'll pick up a Elemental Hero Stratos off the e-call. Sure. I think I'm gonna have to hold on to this, because that's like the only way I'm gonna out this messenger.
Yeah, Paris.
Go ahead.
We'll draw. We'll send, and another one I count.
Draw. Stand by main. I mean, that's ideal. I'll go Rhoda. Sure. Alright, on the army, I'm gonna pull up Ballard.
Sounds good.
Actually, what about the... Yeah. Okay, I'll go Wildheart, and then I will summon Wildheart. Sure, unfortunately, it's too fun.
You know it's not trapped.
Yeah, don't remind me. I'll just pass like that. Turn, countdown.
Keep it going. I need to be paid
It's
for
not
round
worth it.
after, I apologize. So I should have paid for 2 standby phases.
The game break 200 life points.
What's a maintenance cost? It still blows my mind. Alright, main phase 1. So what's your play here? You go normal Stratos, crack my messenger. That seems pretty likely. Okay, sure, I'll pass. Alright, turn 9. Okay.
Stand by me.
Yep.
Stratos, crack the messenger.
Activate skill tree.
Fuck. Oh shit, go. Yeah.
10 on countdown. Do it. Draw. I'll set. Throw 2. Turn 11.
Draw, stand by me. Get some greed going.
Yeah.
You don't have anything. Stop. You don't have anything. I'm gonna take my 2 cards. I'll throw down a Witch of the Black Forest. That could actually start getting it.
That could actually start getting it for damage, yeah.
Battle phase 11. Not onto that.
Okay, now I have to start thinking. That's just annoying. That could start. That's 11 turns on Messenger of Peace that you drain me of each. I need to be mindful of that, you know?
It's the clock, bro. You're racing the clock.
Yeah, I am racing the clock. You know what? I'm going to race.
Okay, we'll both take it.
And you have die items, so you don't get the surge, so I feel pretty good.
Oh, no, you're right! Shit! Oh, fucking flows! Oh, yeah, alright. Oh, your turn, that's 12 on countdown.
12 on countdown, come on, come on. Main 1, I have to pay my 100. Yeah, you don't have any outs, go ahead.
Draw.
13.
14.
Yeah, 14. Oh, and speaking of...
It's only
fair. Just in case you can crack my board, I'll dark.
Yeah, I ain't got no. They're getting banished too. See ya.
Banished, yep. I'll pass 15. I should draw for, like...
16, go ahead.
Makes it easy. Go to 16. Draw. Huh? It's pretty good. This can hit under my card.
Yeah, go figure out.
また来たの
We'll go
なんだ
to
よ
17. What's gonna kill you first? The tomato or countdown?